Imagine standing at the edge of everything that you ever wanted, only to have your own fear lock the door and throw away the key. That is exactly what happens in day 60 of the Bible in 365 streams. The Israelites are at the border of the Promised Land, but instead of walking in, they're about to go on a 40-year detour. But here's the crazy part. Even after they rebelled like this, God didn't abandon them. If you've ever felt like your mistakes have permanently disqualified you from God's plan, then you need to hear what happens next. In Numbers 14, the 10 scared spies have officially convinced the camp that they won't be able to take Canaan. They start a literal riot and try to decide for themselves who their next leader should be to take them back to Egypt. Think about that. They wanted to go back to slavery because they were scared of a battle that God had already promised them that they would win. Moses has to step in again in order to intercede. God was ready to start over, but Moses appeals to God's character and his reputation among the nations. God relents, but there are consequences. That entire generation is banned from the Promised Land, and they will wander for 40 years until their children are ready to enter. Then we hit Numbers 15, and this is where we see God's heart. Right after this massive failure, he starts giving them laws for when you enter the land. He's still going to take them there. He hasn't changed his mind about his people. We also read Psalm 90, which is the only psalm that's written by Moses. He reflects on how short life is, and he asks God to teach us to number our days. Moses knew that he was in for a long 40 years of many different funerals in the desert, but he still looked for God's favor. My thoughts today are on the blue tassels that God tells them to wear at the end of chapter 15. When I read that, I didn't see it as some weird fashion rule. I saw it as God being a really kind parent. He knows we have spiritual amnesia. We see a giant in our life and we instantly forget every miracle that he's ever done for us. Those tassels were a way for them to look down at their hands and be snapped back to reality and remember who they belong to. It made me realize that God doesn't expect us to have perfect courage or perfect memory. He expects us to use the reminders that he has given us to keep our eyes on him. He's very patient with our slow learning curve. God's grace is truly bigger than our detours. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow, and share so that you and your friends don't miss day 61. God bless you. Jesus loves you. Peace be with you.